All right, guys. So this marks the end of the first week of season two. This is kind of me talking about what I got done this week, what I plan to do next week, um, how I'm gonna handle this busy WoW schedule coming up. This in the background is a I finally timed a +10 key for Void Scar, which admittedly it was mostly my fault not timing them because my route was really weird and I was pulling really dangerous things I didn't pull. But I'll put this in the background. This group was very good. I was really happy with them. Um, so first week, got to 2,400. I think 20, almost 2,500. I honestly thought I'd be higher, but I'm not that much in a rush to hit 3,400 anyway, so it's fine. Hell, we don't even know what mounts we're getting this season yet. Um, I will admit, as I was initially skeptical on what I was gonna feel about this season because the dungeon pool, several dungeons in this, not 1 minute, several, a few dungeons in this pool I wasn't thrilled about. Seth Rawless, I'm not a big fan of. I'm still not a big fan of it, but it's a little bit better than it was. Ruby Life Pulse was another one that I was like, oh my god, this place was so bad during Dragonflight. It's not as bad now. There's only really one pull that's dangerous for the tank anyway. I'm sure the DPS hate it for different reasons, but for the tank, it's the mini boss before the first boss. That guy, at least at my gear, I'm thinking about like 306, 307, something like that. I do have four piece. I have bad trinkets, like really bad trinkets. I have my crafted weapon, but next tomorrow I'll be able to make my shield. I'm really hoping for a better trinket in the vault. If not, if I don't get a trinket in the vault, I'm probably gonna just get a reroll token for raid. Anyway, besides that, in King's Rest, I honestly wasn't thrilled about either. But King's Rest is fine. The thing I hated about King's Rest was always the back in BFA was the mummy boss because it was like people always screwed it up. It wouldn't knock on the tombs. Like it's a mess. But overall, King's Rest is actually one of the easier ones, if you can believe it. Okay, what else? Void Scar Arena, I wasn't super thrilled about at first either, but the now I think it's one of my favorites, and the reason why is it's just like really well tuned. The pulls are hard, not too hard. They're and if you get your route down, it's really fine. It really is. The first week of every season is always going to be real hit or miss. You're going to have like your average DPS players that they're not in mythic guilds. They're just kind of in heroic guilds or whatever, where they only do keys. It takes them a few weeks to really come online. But you have your DPS players who play at a high level, and everybody's kind of mix and matched in the same uh, IO. So like sometimes you get a group like this. Like these guys are all very good damage dealers. They're interrupting. Only had a few deaths. I think I only had one death, honestly, and it was because the in-hand shaman wasn't out of the void zone. And he gets killed. Whatever. The pally resin, we're good to go. Um, but honestly, everything is pretty mellow. Um, Tanking is fun. I mean, I miss tanking keys. I last season, by the end of last season, I was so burnt out, and I wanted to just play something different. And I honestly wish I would have just finished the push and just got to 3,400. But I was so fried mentally. It was just like, oh, this is so bad. I just want to, And then I went and played up. I played a lot of Burning Crusade, and then, it was a good break. So anyway, the season's fine. It's still relatively easy to gear. It's not as easy as it was when we had 8,000 reroll tokens, but it's it's still fairly easy. There's a lot of people who feel like they get screwed on loot, but I mean, that's like every season in WoW, so it's not surprising that people would complain about loot. We're seeing a lot of that right now in Burning Crusade. A lot of people are feeling like they don't get any upgrades and stuff like that, but I mean, that's just MMOs in general. That's just how they work. Some weeks you're gonna have banger, like you're gonna have banger loot. Some weeks you're not. Some weeks it's gonna suck. It is what it is. Um. So far, I'm relatively happy with how things are going. Um. The routes are pretty straightforward. A lot of it is just like you walk forward, and of course you're gonna have the crazy MDI strats, like people already doing weird skips in Murder Row, but for the most part, it's fine. It's generally fine. Groups are definitely like any season you're gonna have. It's a 50-50, and it's not always down to the class. Um, and I know that goes against the WoW mantra, so to speak. Um, but there are meta specs, but they're only good at the high. I mean, you're only gonna really notice a big difference when you're at the highest keys. Um, so like it's fine, dude. If you wanted to go play a fucking survival hunter, you could. You want to play a fucking sub rogue, you could. I've had good sub rogues. I've had bad ones. I've had good fucking ferals. I mean, well, ferals actually, quote unquote meta right now, which is fucking wild. All my years playing druid, feral's been meta like twice maybe at best. Um, you get my point, right? You can play whatever you want. You don't have to get like locked into it. But you do have people who are running keys and they're like, well, I'm just gonna grab these classes and these classes and these classes because this random ass person on the internet told me I should. And yeah, like if you're pushing the highest content, you're going for your title range keys, and yeah, you probably do want to have a meta comp, but you don't have to have it. It's more about just player individuality. You're gonna find people who play meta specs, and maybe not this week, but you're gonna find them starting maybe in a month or so, where they re-roll because they aren't getting invited to keys. They get in there and they fucking suck at it. Like Arcane Mage is a good fucking class. If you put me on an Arcane Mage, I will fucking suck. Not every class is for every player, and the best thing to do is just practice. And if you're so quick to reroll, you're probably not going to practice. You're going to get in there, you're going to realize that you suck at it or whatever, or you're going to blame it on whatever. Lately, I've heard people blaming trinkets for their shit. It's like, you really think a trinket is going to be the difference between a gray parse and a fucking orange? You're wrong. Well, it just comes out to repetition, practice, and learning the fucking thing, and that takes time. So I hope if anybody gets anything out of this video, I hope it's that they realize that this is a game and they should have fun with it, and they don't need to do whatever some guide on the internet told them to do. Like, I run talents that other prop paladins don't like. They're taking talents that do a little bit more damage. Like, there is a talent that gives me a defensive whenever I use my charger, which I used when I'm pulling mobs. So I'd rather be a little bit tankier while I'm running around a room, so that my healer isn't like, oh my god, what the fuck, than have another 1% damage buff. But that's not considered the meta play. Again, you don't have to do that. That's not required. Anyway, but that's pretty much what happened the first week. Next week, I would like to finish getting all my teleports. That's my main goal. It'd be nice if in raid we can do heroic, so I can start re-rolling myth track gear. The whole entire reason I'm raiding, I don't particularly love the raid, and raiding in retail is not that fun for me anymore because I like Mythic Plus so much more. It's usually like a means to an end. It's like, only reason I'm raiding now is because most of the trinkets for tanks in Mythic Plus they're okay. They're not great. They're okay. But I'd like to get like the guillotine and stuff. I'd like to get the Mythtrack one hander off of the second to the last boss, because that weapon is very, very good for prop paladin. Well, any tank that can use a sword, it's very good. You got all kinds of crazy cleave poisons and stuff. It's great. Here I fucked up because I thought that guy was dead. He clearly wasn't. But anyway, so it'd be nice to at least start getting a decent amount into heroic, but that's probably going to take a few weeks. The guild that I'm in they're great. They're great people, but mechanically they got a lot to learn, which is fine. I mean, that's the kind of guild that I joined. I knew that going into it. I'm not stupid. A lot of carrying going on and stuff like that, which is totally fine. Doesn't bother me at all. I don't mind. You know, the first time I raided with them, I got like splitting migraine because there were so many people and they talked so much that I was just like, oh man, this is brutal. But that's like the first week. Now my schedule is a little weird. So this is what my weekly schedule looks like. So Tuesday and Thursday is raiding in retail. Friday I have a weekly key group that I run with some friends. Saturday I raid in Burning Crusade, and Sunday I raid in Burning Crusade. So my only free nights are Monday and Wednesday, where I'm not doing something WoW related, and I'm probably still going to play WoW during the day. I haven't really played this much since vanilla. So yeah, and I'm really happy about TBC. Like we're coming up. I don't know why my fucking game locks at this boss right here every time. I don't get it. But anyway, there's so we got Black Temple coming up. We got Hydro coming up. I'm working on, basically what I'm doing is I'm going over on Burning Crusade and I'm doing my my Sethic Hall solo runs. And you can do like 5 runs. I'm no longer killing the little birds. I'm only killing the boss, and that is because the haste potion recipe really isn't worth farming anymore. Because one, it's an extremely low drop chance, and two, it takes time. It takes time to kill all those little ads. I got to kill like 3 groups of birds, and they have less than a 1% drop chance on the thing. And even if it did drop, not going to matter, because next phase we're going to get people are going to be able to buy haste potions with Marks of Eldari in Chatrath. So people aren't going to buy haste potions in the auction house anyway. So no one's going to buy the recipe to make them. No point. I was a little disappointed because my guild in TBC is doing trash farms on Friday, and I can't go, and I really want to, because there's a lot of rep and stuff like that to be had in there, and the faster I get rep, the faster I get a ring upgrade in there. But it is what it is. We're going to be progging Black Temple and Hydro. I've heard that the raid leader wants to put very little effort into Hydro. I really hope that's not true. There's a lot of really nice upgrades in Hydro I'd really like to get, but I get it. So yeah, that's basically what's going on this week. I'm gonna do these videos like once a week. I'm not gonna over upload, really, because there's not much to really say. Because it's gonna be like, I went to raid, and then I went this, and I went that, and I'm gonna start streaming my key runs on Fridays, and then probably stream Saturday and Sunday TBC raids. I know the people who do watch my videos, it's kind of split on who wants to see Burning Crusade stuff, so I totally understand if nobody shows up, but that's fine. I'll still pop the stream on. I'm going to do it on YouTube. I was going to do it on Twitch, but Twitch has such bad... For some reason, my internet disconnects from Twitch, but it doesn't disconnect from YouTube, so YouTube's where I'm going to be. So, and if I'm honest, I don't really expect my streaming to ever take off, but it's still something I like to do, and it's one of those why not scenarios, So, Burning Crusade, I'll be main tanking for... Well, they say main tank. I don't like the term main tank anymore because it doesn't really fit. But I'll be feral tanking tier 6 content. And retail, I'll be doing keys on Friday and stuff. Friday keys are not like pushing keys. It's more just of a fun environment. You're probably like, last week I don't think we timed maybe 2 keys. Didn't make it not fun for me. I still enjoyed it. So, all right, guys, I will finish explaining what's going on here. Actually, did I speed this video up? I have a feeling I didn't. No, I didn't. Here, I'll speed this up. All right, so in this room, these pulls can be very dangerous. I've tried to split them up into the dangerous packs. This pack is fine. You have a Screamer and a Brutalizer. The Brutalizer, what he does is when a mob gets to 20%, he tries to eat it. So you want to kill it so he doesn't eat it. If he eats it, he heals. You got to kill 3 of these guys to open up the boss room. So I'm still tweaking this a little bit because you see I'm going to pull this group here. Only thing dangerous in this pull is kind of the Shaman. But as long as you kill the totems, the Shaman does nothing. It doesn't matter. He doesn't heal or anything. He just keeps casting Lava Bolt, and it doesn't. It hurts, but it doesn't. It's not anything the healer can't deal with. So in that pull, you really want to just make sure you kill the totems and then kill the big ad. See, this pull here is questionable. You have the big guy, and then you have an Overseer in the same pull, and a Screamer. So Screamer needs to be kicked because of the AoE fear. That guy you have to stack on, and the other one here. And the healer pings himself because he's going to solo a slam. You see the healer runs away, almost dies. I don't know why he didn't bubble there, but he wanted to solo. He was insisting on soloing it for some reason. So here we go. You stack. If you stack up, you don't get. If you solo this slam, you launch into the air really high and you take fall damage. But if you stack, you only go up a little bit. And then that brings count to 100%. Now, instead of that, right, instead of doing that one, there are these 2 little jellies on the side. I could pull the jellies with the mini boss and then kill them because the jellies don't do anything at all. And I would still, it would give me count because this gave me too much count. So if I do that, I think it's a better way. So I'm going to try that next time. This boss is basically Kai'Veza, essentially. So it spawns these orbs. You stand in the middle of them. He does AoEs. You spread out. The DPS get targeted with the orbs. I got to kite the orbs through the other orbs. Blow them up. He does a AoE tank frontal. And then he targets somebody with a spell. Here we double sacked him. I was an accident. I should have hit it. I should have let the healer go first. But as a prop paladin there, you can also give out Blessing of Spell Warding, and it will negate that damage too. So here we go. We have the orbs again. The AoE frontal. This guy's a very easy boss fight. I mean, honestly, once I figured out to stand in the middle of the orbs, it was literally cake walks. So there you go. The cascade. And here we go, right? Like, boom, staying in it. This guy basically is a target dummy, essentially. I mean, the only thing scary he even does is the channel. The tank buster, at least on a 10, doesn't really hurt. So, and paladins have so many cooldowns, it doesn't seem to matter. And we just keep going, and dead. And that was my second Keystone Hero. I have 2. I have King's Rest and that one so far. So that is this week. I'm going to make another video next week, and I will be streaming on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I hope you guys will come out and hang out. And other than that, that's all I got. All right, bye.